So you have a last will and testament, you have a will, and now you've moved, right? So you were living one place and you moved to another place. Probably your will is going to say somewhere in there, you're a resident of X county in X state, or maybe it's got your full address somewhere. And so do you need to update your will every time you move? Most of the time, answer is going to be no. Or if you've got a trust, most likely you're not going to have to update your trust every time you move. If you're like me, I have moved a lot in my lifetime. I've had a lot of different addresses. That would be a huge pain, a huge expense. So most of the time, if you're just moving and you're like, you pull out your will and it shows an address that you lived at 3 years ago, you probably don't need to update it. However, if you have moved from different states, right? So you did the will in, let's say, New York, and now you moved to Florida. You might want to update your will, right? Depending on certain circumstances. Reason is, when that will was drafted, when that will was done, it was done using New York law. Now that you moved to Florida, you're a resident of Florida, your assets are in Florida, your house is in Florida, everything you own is in Florida. Now, when you pass away, that will is going to be used in probate court in Florida, most likely, using the laws of Florida. And so there could be a conflict or differing laws between New York and Florida. And so you want to make sure that what was valid in New York is actually going to be valid in Florida, because if you had all these plans in New York and maybe the law is different in Florida, you're not going to be able to do those things. So I generally tell people, look, if you're just moving to another address in your own city or your own state even, probably don't need to update it just for that. If you're moving out of state, you're probably going to need to actually update it and make sure that your will or your trust or your estate plan works with the laws of the state that you now live in.